What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about passive-aggressive put-downs. Somebody asked me, would you please talk about men who use joking and humor as a way to try to control a woman or guilt her as in a form of passive aggression? This happens to me many times and no one talks about it. That was a really good question, by the way, and before I get into that, I just want to let you all know, if you haven't seen a commercial by now or if you haven't seen my announcements video, I'm having a private live stream on August 28th, Friday, August 28th. If you want to register, you can click the link in the description. I wouldn't advise waiting for the next free live because, again, I'm not sure when that will be. I explained that all in the announcements video, so if you need to know more about that live event or why there may not be a free live in the future or in the near future anyway, please go watch that live event, or I'm sorry, please go watch that announcements video. Don't forget to follow my two brand new podcasts, Kev Hick Talks Everything and Kev Hick Talks Guys with Girls. Well, the second one isn't really a brand new one, it's just the audio files from this for people who like to listen to me instead of watch me. But anyway, search Kev Hick on your favorite podcast app. Please go download my podcast, check them out. It's going to be a lot of value offered. With that said, let's get into this topic. Very good question. I'll tell you like I've had to tell myself over the years. Get far away from those who seek to humble you, even if they do it with a smile. This is a huge dating red flag that a lot of women don't pay enough attention to. I speak to a lot of people who say, I just got off of a date and the guy kind of gave me these light put downs for the whole time. He was cute, he was funny, he was charismatic, but I just felt like he was, putting me down a little bit, and I didn't know why, but, I found myself seeking his approval or seeking his validation by the end of the day. That's a tactic that pickup artists use. Light put downs are a way to humble a woman in a way that causes her to start to seek out your validation and your affections. Guys who put women down for no reason, especially with a smile or a laugh, are ultimately trying to gain control over that woman through building an influence over her psyche and her self-confidence while she's with him. If you can teach a woman how to feel about herself, then you can also teach her how to do exactly what she's told, even if you don't tell her directly, right? It's mind games. It's manipulation. There are a lot of men who understand that a woman might be very beautiful and there might be a lot of competition for her. She might garner a lot of attention from other more qualified men. So what they do is they bring her down a peg so that not only does she seek their affections because somehow or another they haven't given them yet, or they've not been impressed enough by her, but she also loses the confidence that she usually would have to deal with other men who may treat her better. When a man is putting you down, he's trying to gain control over your opinion of yourself around him so that he can manipulate that control to get whatever he wants from you and to leverage that affection and that curiosity that you have to figure out how to impress him or how to get on his good side. People who leverage their validation should be avoided at all costs. Anyone who seeks to humble you should be thrown far, far away from you. And I mean that in every sense of the word, and not just in romantic situations. Some of you have friends who try to humble you on a regular basis. It builds them up to put you down because either they're not happy with themselves or they're not happy with what they see in you. Right? It threatens them. So to neutralize the threat, they have to take that power away from you. They have to dismiss that power so that they feel a little bit better and more confident about you or around you. And that's what a lot of guys do. A lot of guys know they ain't shit. A lot of guys know that they don't have as much to offer as they would like you to think they have. So what they do is they make you feel inferior, right? To make themselves feel and look more superior to you so that the unqualified is dictating the ideas of the qualified. Again, this is a huge red flag because I've never met a guy who puts women down, playfully, but often, who also respects them, who also is loyal, who also is very, very caring. There are always these guys who do that and they, I'm just joking, or I'm just playing. They piss you off and then they apologize. They piss you off and then they apologize. They play in extremes because it gives them more control over you. When you're off balance, you're less likely to defend yourself. You're less likely to require more from them. You're more likely to just seek out a consistent approval from them. And to do that, you'll do anything. Or many women grow to that point. When you meet a guy that does this, get far away from him. Don't go on a second date or a third date. Don't have another phone call. Just stay away from him. If you catch a guy putting you down on purpose, You have all the information you need to never speak to that man again, because he is a dangerous person. A real man wants to build his woman up. He wants her to feel stronger and more empowered for having encountered him and him being in her life. He doesn't want her to feel weakened and more needy of him. A man who seeks to make you needy seeks to control you and seeks to abuse you and manipulate you. A man who seeks to empower you wants to love you. Healthy love comes with empowerment and not dependency. Men who are putting you down are trying to create a dependency in you to need them and to want them, so they then can turn that leverage on you and control you and manipulate you. I've never met anyone in a healthy relationship where one spouse was doing that. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. I haven't met one person who does that to their spouse on a regular basis who is also faithful. It just doesn't happen. I haven't met that person. And if they are faithful, they're narcissistic abusers. People often ask me, what's the number one sign for narcissistic abusers? Well, there are many, because there are many different types of narcissistic abusers. But I can tell you, the person who always is giving you light put downs is really screaming narcissistic abuser at you. This is probably the number one sign for narcissistic abusers early on that you might run into. Of course, narcissism is interesting because this isn't a video about narcissism. It's too vast a topic. I have like 4 videos that are going to be a series about narcissism coming soon, so you might want to check that out. But I can tell you that this is a big trait for narcissistic abuse, and you don't want to deal with the man who's giving you light put downs. Again, even if you're not being romantic with a person, even if it's just a friend or a family member, stay far away from people who seek to humble you in that way, who seek to injure you in little increments, to bring you down a peg. I've noticed that the people who hate me the most, the people who watch my videos and then call me arrogant or pompous, or pick some negative descriptive term, these are generally people who obviously have self-esteem issues, and so my self-belief, my self-esteem, my faith in me threatens them, because how dare I have more confidence in me than they have in themselves, right? When you meet a guy and you're confident and you're powerful and you're bold, sometimes if you meet a weak man is going to want to take you down a peg, because how dare you have more confidence in yourself than he has in himself, right? You can't be controlled if you believe in you more than he believes in him. So he has to pull you down. He has to shrink you in your ego in order to control you and manipulate you and make you think that he's qualified to be in your life or to be added to your social circle. He definitely doesn't want you dealing with other more qualified, greater men. The effort to humble you is to isolate you and to create a need in you for him and his validation. It's a narcissistic abuse trait. It's a dating red flag. Don't do it. Don't go for it. It might seem cute. He might seem exciting. All of that shit that y'all seem to be into as far as a guy. This is one of those ones where you don't want to deal with, you don't want to entertain at all, because it will lead to your abuse in a relationship or friendship or even a family dynamic. So please just stay away from people like that. It's just not worth it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KidFig24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.